I threw a birthday party this weekend, and it was really funny because since I do porn, and I'm just a social person that's an LA native, I invited everyone ever. So it was obviously a lot of people I've had sex with from college, from my last job, from like how long ago was college?
No.
Many.
Keep going.
I was like, but like, you know, it's just like people throughout my life, like from like when I was like 18, from high school, to now, like now that I'm a porn star. And I felt that something really eclectic that someone noticed was that none of them had a specific look. It was just the common denominator was they were open-minded, they were usually really funny, but physically and with their jobs, it was extremely sporadic and eclectic.
Do you hear this woman? She had a party, and she invited a whole bunch of people to the party that she had slept with over the course of the last, decade. And they're all in the room together, and it's a lot of people. And what she chooses to say is, oh, wow, they have a diversity of jobs, and they all look different. And she's like patting herself on the back like, wow, I don't really have... I really appreciate diversity in men. It didn't occur to her how nasty it was to, one, why are you inviting all people that you've been intimate with to all hang out with each other? There's a nastiness to that, and disrespectful, mind you, because not everybody lives the way that you do. That's disrespectful. And secondly, looking out at a room and seeing like hundreds of people, and you're like, oh, I had sex with that one. I was like, how are you so disconnected from your femininity that you don't realize how distasteful that is? That's just skipping a beat. Now, granted, we'll say, okay, it's Kazumi, and Kazumi does this for a living. But just think about that. Because on a smaller scale, there are women everywhere who are making decisions to be more loose with their bodies. And what's happening is, you know, maybe they're not Kazumi, but what they're doing is they're showing up at parties and they're looking at, oh, I hooked up with that guy last week and that guy over there a year ago and that guy over there. He and I had a summer and we didn't sleep together, but we did everything else. And they're just kind of all around all the time and talking to each other. And there is something so uncomfortable for somebody like me looking at that even, because I come from a time where you had enough self-respect that if you were with one person in that group, that was it. You had to go find a different group. Right? You couldn't be doing all of that. And this is not supposed to be an episode of like a teenage drama that's unfolding in your life where your tongue's been down everybody's throat, their tongue's been down everybody else's throat. That's disgusting. That's disgusting, right? And it's a sign of no self-respect. So when I look at these women just talking about, oh, there's a room full of people and I had slept with all of them and wow, they were all wearing different clothes. Who cares what they were wearing? What the heck's wrong in your head that you invited them all to hang out together? Wow. Okay, let's keep playing it.
Like there were people who were short, there were people who were tall, there were people who were fat, there were people that were buff, but the common denominator was that
was you,
we had
honey.
A really cool connection.
The common denominator was that they had all shopped inside the 7-Eleven. That is you. That was the common denominator. They're all sitting saying, "Oh yeah, I've been there before. Oh, I've been there before." Disgusting. Disgusting. And how could any guy that you choose to be with one-on-one in an exclusive relationship ever not think about that? What, are you going to cut all these people off? Or is that guy ultimately that you decide to have a serious relationship with, one-on-one, not an open relationship, you make that decision, you're going to have this party and he's going to be looking at a room full of guys that you've been with, some publicly on the internet? Come on. You're hurting yourself, you're hurting your options, and you know it. You're just cashing in right now, so it feels good. But you got to be honest about what this is going to do to your trajectory. Now, if you don't care, if you never want to have an exclusive relationship with anybody, fine. But if you at any point in your life are looking to have a child or looking to go down that route, what you're doing right now is going to hurt you. And to tell women that it's not and to incentivize that behavior in women, you're not doing a service to anybody. Okay, let's keep going.
Granted, I'm also in an open relationship, so it's not
Shocking.
weird for me to bring all the people I've ever fucked in one room. You know,
so how many people in that room were there that you had?
Well, okay, it's not like I fucked everyone in the room.
Can I ask, as a porn star, like, do you keep track of your like body count now? That's something I'm curious about. I have
also
questions.
an adult woman, so I don't keep track of my body count. But if I had to, it's probably 1 bajillion. You know, so whether you can respect me or not.
I 100% do. I don't think a body count matters at all.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pause that for a second. She says that because she's an adult woman. Oh, who cares about body count? Can I tell you something? If you're a female and you have to keep track of your body count, you're already doing something wrong. If you have to sit and go, oh, this one, that one, and oh yeah, that was that summer. Oh, I did go to Paris that year, and then let me add a couple there, and then if you're doing this, you've already made too many mistakes. That's crazy. You should be like, boom, somebody asks you, boom, that's it. And frankly, it should all fit on less than one hand. I'm not kidding. I don't care how old you are, because it's really starting to get disgusting. It's starting to get disgusting. It really is, because most of these women are like in their 20s, and they're, oh, well, let me think. Oh, I don't even remember. That night I was drunk, so... I mean, how do you expect to be taken seriously on anything? This idea that, oh, you're an adult. This is not about what you choose to do with your life. I don't care if you have sex with 50 people in a day. If it's consensual and you're doing you do whatever you want. But I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that having sex with 50 people in a day isn't going to hurt your chances of settling down with a good quality man one day. Then I'd be lying to you. Unbelievable. And she's like, oh, body count. It doesn't. And you notice how women oftentimes on these panels will use the word should or shouldn't. That shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter. It's not about what should or shouldn't. It's about what does and what is. So you can choose, and women, a lot of times on these panels, modern women choose not to live in the land of reality. They prefer to live in the land of fiction or should, could, all that stuff, because it's convenient to live that way. Then you get to make a whole bunch of excuses for your bad behavior, and you get to say, well, guys shouldn't care. But the reality is that they do, so it bites you in the behind. So why can't we just acknowledge the truth? God, it's like modern women don't like the truth. Okay, let's keep going.
Talk about that
At all.
later
Yeah.
too.
I was waiting for that.
We'll talk about body count
Let's just
later.
say it's 1 million, and if people don't respect me over it, they wouldn't have respected me even if I had
absolutely.
5. So also, it's just tired because every single podcast, everyone has to ask me about my body count as if it's like a zinger moment. Like,
I have
they're
a
like, you
question.
have 1 million, huh?
She's trying to say, then we're going to move on. She's trying to say that if a woman had a body count of 5, if she had a body count of 5, or if she had a body count of 1 million, those two, that woman would garner the same amount of respect from a man. So that's, again, she's telling herself a lie so that she can continue to do what she's doing, cash in, and one day she's going to feel the pain of that lie. Because there is a drastic difference between a woman who has been in, say is her age, I don't know what she is, late 20s is my guess. Say a woman her age has been with 5 guys and had 5 relationships and, didn't sleep with anybody else but those 5 guys. Okay, that's a big difference between that woman and what she's doing. If she can't acknowledge that that woman with the 5 is going to appeal to much more men than she will, then she's living in the land of delusion because she wants to. So, and this, again, the reason I'm talking about Kazumi is because people say, well, Jen, there's not a lot of Kazumis out there. True, but this is happening on a smaller scale. Take Kazumi and now turn her into that girl with the 25 body count at 24. Okay, that person is now making an argument that she should be just as desirable to a man as this girl over here who has a body count of 1 and is being really selective. Again, it's a game of shoulds. Should be allows you to justify this bad behavior. But what actually is would make you have to change your behavior, because what actually is the guy is going to far prefer this woman over here with a body count of 1 than the girl with a body count of 24 or 25. There's just no contest. So choose to live in the land of the shoulds if you want, but you're going to lose a lot of options. If you like the short clip and want to watch the full episode, click here. And if you want to connect with me one-on-one on Connect, you're going to click right here. Let's get to talking.